Hello and welcome back to Joellen's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a fairly simple recipe, and that is cucumber salad. We want to start with 3 smaller cucumbers. They don't have to be, huge ones. They can get really big. And I'm going to start by cutting off both ends. And then what I like to do, as I have this old-fashioned potato peeler, some people will peel the entire cucumber, and others, like I like to do, will more or less create stripes with it, maybe an inch apart or half an inch apart, however many you want to do. Because when you, first of all, there's protein and nutrients in the shell that I don't like to waste, but also when you are looking at it, that dark green gives it a really nice little texture and eye appeal, if you will. And so I like to leave some of the shell on, and I think you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. The inside is white, and then there's little stripes on the outside of each piece so that it can be just a little visually appealing. But you're going to throw those into your bowl, because you're going to need 2 bowls to start. And what I like to do is, first thing, get this cucumber cut. And we're going to be making all 3, but so you don't have to sit here and watch me cut 3, I'm just going to do this part now. We're going to set that in front here so you can see. And then what we want to do is get a teaspoon of salt in our hand or in a teaspoon measuring spoon and sprinkle that over the cucumber. It might seem like a lot, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to pour ice water on top of this and let it soak. Now what that's going to do is 2 things. With the water there, the salt is going to dissolve a little bit and it's going to soak into the cucumbers, and the ice is going to help make them crispy. So while I do the rest of it, I'm just going to set that aside and we'll keep going. In the other bowl, what we want to do is prepare a small to medium onion. And in this instance, I like to cut the onions very thin, thinner than most times when I use onions, and I don't use onions often, I got to admit. So here we go. The shell's a little thin on it, so it's hard to pull off, but we'll get there. Okay, just start slicing your onion and make it as thin as you can in slices. It tastes, it just, with the bigger pieces of cucumbers, the thinner pieces of onion, let your mouth know what you're eating on. If you tend to tear up a lot from onions, you might want to run it under cold water. That also helps when you're working with an onion to keep your eyes from tearing up. This one doesn't seem too terribly strong, but once you get your onion sliced, you want to make sure all the rings are separated, at least on the bigger pieces, and the rest will probably fall apart when you tumble it. You don't really have to separate the ones that are thinner, but that big one, I wanted to make sure. But get your onion in there, and the other thing you need is 1/2 cup of sour cream, and this happens to be 8 ounces, so I don't have to go any further than to put the whole cup in here. People I know substitute Miracle Whip for the sour cream because they don't like sour cream. It's your recipe, you do with it what you want. But one of the things that I like to do, I want to put in 1/2 teaspoon of dill seed and sprinkle that in there. And there's a couple of options actually. Oh, my eyes are watering from the onion, I'm sorry. Excuse me about that. And I also want to put in 1/2 teaspoon of celery seed. I like celery seed. I just think celery gives things such a great flavor. but I don't have any today. I couldn't find any in the store that I went to, so something you can add because I really like it, but you don't have to. At any rate, that's something, is chives. Now when I go to Wendy's, I always get sour cream and chives on my potatoes. So I like those little chives, and if I had them, I'd put them in here. We also want to add just 1 tablespoon of sugar. There's not a lot of sugar in this. Some of the things we make have a lot of sugar. And we also want 2 tablespoons of the white vinegar. I get big jugs of vinegar because I use it a lot. For cleaning as well as cooking, actually. There we go. And we just want to mix that all together. Make it creamy and ready for those cucumbers. Okay, I'm going to take my strainer and strain the ice and the water off of my cucumbers. You can really let it set an hour or 2 and they'll get much crisper, but tonight I'm just going to make it. Okay, I drained my cucumbers and they're good and cold. I'm going to put them on a paper towel and make sure they blot dry on both sides. Drop them into my sauce. Now once I don't have so many, I can flip the outer edge over and blot them that way. Maybe do a few more at a time. There's also just a sugar and vinegar dressing that you can put on the cucumber salad, but this is probably, I don't know, they're both popular, but the one way to make the cucumber salad. So again, you just put them in there and mix it all together. And voila, what we have is creamy cucumber salad. Enjoy!